All right, let's get ready to grill up some steaks. Now the first thing is we're going to get some charcoal set in there. And of course I want to get kind of, oops, there we go. The old charcoal works out of there. There we go. And then I always get half the grill with charcoal. I want just the right amount, and sometimes less is more. A lot of times we put too much charcoal in there and then it kind of goes to town. So I always kind of move them around, and then I have different grates. I have the regular grates, and then I got the hardcore grates here. And it's like, which ones do I want to use? Yep, I have two grills and two smaller ones. I need to pick up a third one. What I'll do is get this perfect. And then we put a little lighter fluid in there. Now I already went out to the garden and picked some green peppers that we're going to saute to throw over the steaks. And then the wife also has a salad. She was asking about maybe doing some sort with potatoes, but I just don't want to. Those meals are great during the winter, but during the summer they don't need to be as heavy. So I'll give it a few seconds to soak in, and then we light it up. There we go. Give it, it takes about at least 5 minutes to get to the fire that we want and get the coals going. Meanwhile, I'll get the steaks ready. So while that's getting all nice and heated up, and what that does is that heat soaks into the coals, and that's what we're going to do our cooking in. So I got that going. Let's pause it here and go back to the kitchen. So now got Mama sauteing the onions and green peppers fresh from the garden. I'll sit there and put over the steaks. So next I get the steaks ready. Now we're going to season the steaks with this regular fresh ground pepper and salt. Now there's other seasonings you can use, but I found these to be the ones that work. We'll get other flavors from the onions and the peppers that'll be put over. So now it goes to the grill as soon as it gets ready. All right, so we got our coals right where we want them. Now it's time to put the meat on. We got the meats. I try to hit them about 3-4 minutes each side. Get a nice sear, especially if I got the right amount of heat going. got that cooking. I'd like to thank everybody that does support the channel. I do appreciate it. So we can give it a few minutes to get a really good sear, which is going to put a seal on it. We'll sear the other side, and then I'll usually put it over to the side and put the cover on it, and then we kind of bake the rest of it in. But searing both sides of it kind of locks a lot of that flavor in there, and in my opinion, nothing beats steak over charcoal. My opinion. It just gives it a special flavor. When those juices hit this charcoal and steam back up, it just gives you kind of a smoky flavor that you really don't get if you cook with, you know, propane or natural gas, or if you're cooking on a skillet. It's still good cooking that way, but in my opinion, this is the best way. So you kind of keep an eye on the flare-ups. And you go, well, I cook it, it never flares up. Well, okay. I want flare-ups. You know, so it kind of gets to each to their own. You know, whatever it happens to be that you prefer. I want that to get smoked back into it. And then once I get 3 or 4 minutes on each side, that's usually about 15 minutes in here. And generally we have a really, really good medium rare steak. Now, one of them I kind of cook a little bit longer for the wife. She likes to kill the animal a little bit more than I do. And you cook it to whatever your preference is. So I think we've had a couple minutes going on there. Let's flip her over. So that's telling me could have probably left it a little bit longer, but you don't know until you really kind of get to that point. And then of course, once you get the meat on there, it starts cooking a little faster. And sometimes you gotta get away from the fire, get that smoke out of your eyes. There we go. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So that was the amount I was looking for. Got a nice sear. Got that locked in there really well. There we go. Got that one seared nicely also. I do want to move it right there. And we do the same with the other side. No need for you to watch it. We'll pause it until we get closer to it being done. Alright, so we're getting ready to kind of see how these are. So kind of flip it over and see how it looks like over there. This one here I want to kind of hit a little harder. So instead of putting this out in a no man's area, I will catch it here where it's still getting some pretty good heat, but not getting too much. And that one I want to hit harder because it didn't get the sear I wanted. And you kind of get a feeling for it by watching the meat and looking at kind of the texture and the redness, and if there's blood coming out, it's going to kind of tell you, okay, is this what I want? So now that I got it there, I want to smoke it a little bit. I do that by covering it. I want some air to come through. Because if I shut the air completely off, then I'll lower the temperature down too low, and I still want it to be at a high temperature. So we're going to smoke it here for a few minutes and see how it looks here. Alright, so here's where you get that smoking taste in there. What I'm going to do is kind of flip them over. And kind of kick them off to the side. And let them smoke for about another 10 minutes. And we should be sitting pretty good. So that keeps the heat in there, really bakes in that flavor. And that's just kind of why cooking on the grill is always better, in my opinion. Alrighty. We should have some good seasoning going on there. You can kind of tell the steaks, I think are done. and they lose some of their thickness. Oh yeah, that was probably good. And let's get ready to eat. So that's how dinner is made.